Hi, everybody. Sorry I'm late today. I was at the grocery store. Apparently, our state is the last state that's still locked down, and they're going to open up tomorrow. So we figured, well, we better better stock up while the stocking's good. So anyway, I was out and about and just made it, sort of. Hey, geezer, how you doing? And Kevin and Stefan. Hey, Stefan, tell me what's as ugly as the night, huh? Oh, let's see. GMT Master. Hey, John. David. Hi, David. Oh, good. Hey, Chris. It's evening there. Hi, Mark. Boy, you're up early. GMT Master. Hey, Lee. How are things in Frackin' Gulch? Hey, Sean. Oh boy. Dominic. Hi. How are you? It's one of those days that started off at I was hot footing it down to the grocery store at 6 a.m. this morning, and I have to wear a mask and everything. And I was like going in there. Whoa. Hey, Tennessee. Isn't that something? Good morning. Huh. Well, we're all set. Okay, let's see. I'm going to start working on a watch, just on my own. This is using. I have some. I found. I had to get a special big case for this one particular dial. It's a California dial, and I wanted to do it. And I thought, okay, so I got this case. The case arrived, and it's a pretty good sized case. And so, oh boy, okay, I can put all this together. But guess what? It didn't have any lugs. So one little thing, no lugs. And it was a really interesting one. Let me see if I got it right here. Yeah. So here's this big old case, and as you can see, it didn't have any lugs. My lugless watch. So the other day I was digging around looking for something in one of the drawers, and I found this little thing here. So I looked at it and I realized what it is. These are the lugs that you put in here, and then there's a special screw you screw down, and then you put the strap on, and bop your uncle, it's all ready. The problem is, I don't know. I mean, I think I really will appreciate spring bars after getting this thing together. I don't know if I have a band. I got a bunch of extra bands and things. And so I hope to have that's going to be one of my projects today after I got to mow the yard and do some other spring chores. But I just thought, these guys at Aganor and some of these other places, God knows what's going on in their lives right now, because I know it's not been easy, and I don't know. So I decided, okay, I'm not gonna hold my breath and wait. I'm gonna get some stuff and start playing with watchmaking. And then if they come and they say, hey, everything's ready, fine. I can put my my project away. Oh man. So hi Tim, how you doing? And Orange Hand, how are you? Watch Habit. Good to see you guys. Um Wire lugs. Well, sorta. They're little bars. They're little bent bars. Let me see if I can that they put them in here. I don't know. Maybe you can see them this way. Uh, you can see these little L-shaped things. Well, man, I'm afraid to take them out of here because I'll lose a screw. I got a lot of loose screws around to lose. Anyway, um, uh, well, I'll put it together and I'll have it ready by the afternoon if I don't get sidetracked with something else. Um, let's see. Hey, Bill A, there you are. Hi, good to see you. Hey, Tomas, how are you? Um, Yeah, this is my summer hat. Um, my beret is my most comfortable hat. That's the one I usually wear. But I usually wear it around the house, going out and getting the mail and stuff. But this is my summer weight hat, and I'm out and about, and off I go in my summer hat. I don't, the my beret. I I'm always surprised at the amount of it's like the ladies of the garden club all going into a faint because somebody had said something like, "Oh, we can't do that," and that's happened to me more time with a beret. People look at it like, "Uh-oh, look out, he's gonna get us. He's got a beret. What is wrong with you?" And there was right in Midtown Manhattan. I walked into a pizza joint, and there were these four or five guys. They were working guys, and they just all of a sudden they saw me in my beret. They went, "What?" Like, like something out of somebody got beamed down on Star Trek. And they got a beret. Uh, Anyway, so when I go out, sometimes if I have it on, I have it on. But this is my usual thing. Oh boy. Hey, Alessandro, how are you? Oh, okay. Hi, Chris. John. Hi, John. Hi. How are things in Norway? Here was a big day. We're getting ready to open up again, and I got high level 11. Um, I did a little video yesterday, and there's this and I did it on the thing of a Pershing. I never liked the Pershing. I never liked the looks of it or anything about it. And then and it was an expensive watch, and it had a solid back. It was an automatic. Everything in a watch I don't like. So I didn't pay any attention to it. There are a lot of watches I don't like. But over time I've watched it. Here you have a really good watch. I mean, in terms of craftsmanship and everything else with it, really good movement by Parmigiani. It's a big sucker, 45 millimeters. It's chronograph. Uh, I'm not a big chronograph person, other than my Beauvais Monoretropon. I don't have a chronograph, but for some reason I thought, man, now here's a watch. It's not an ugly duckling, because an ugly duckling turns into a swan. This turns into a big ugly duck. And I thought, what a cool watch! Like, big macho guy. You put it on one of those, you know, the stony guys, the Incredible Hulk would wear something like that and be perfectly happy with it. And the more I look at it, the more I'm beginning to like it. So I don't know. It's funny. Um, but it's in the prices, God, the price is about a quarter of what the MSRP is, brand new. And so I put that out there for a really good buy, and I think it is. People who have a chronograph, they really want a sports chronograph, and they want a luxury sports chronograph, and they got a beer budget, that you're you can buy an old used one, and you can do that. There's nothing wrong with that. I got some old used ones myself. Some of my favorite are that. But for crying out loud, come on. This is the first coffee I've had this morning, so I'm sort of cruising along. They don't also have a 40. Don't they? May Kevin? They may have that. I'm beginning to find more and more Pershings, especially I like the ones with like a different color dial and something or other. Like I saw one with a red dial. I thought, man, I like that. Get a red dial. Wouldn't that be fun? Because I've got other colors. Kaz has a really nice Chopek with a red dial, but those things are really expensive. And as much as I like Chopeks, that's just a cool color to have. I don't know. Yeah, it's one of these things. But there's got to be a rule. We got to have standards. It's ugly. I don't think so. Hey ZL, how you doing? Oh boy. Okay. So that's been a lot of fun. I mean, it's like years and years ago. This is a long time ago. Uh, I was in Paris with my wife, and we were walking down the street. I forgot where it was. It was in a probably over on the left bank, the popular area, a lot of people around. And there was this guy. You talk about a perv. He would he had a long sleeve shirt on, and up his sleeve he had a rat made of leather, this leather rat. And so he'd walk by and these women, and he'd pop it out, and the rat would hop out and scream. I'm surprised the guys, you know, the gal or her boyfriend didn't pop the guy, but he would then go shuffling off like I thought, that guy knew how to have fun. Everybody's screaming. I don't know. God, I think I'm going around. I think it's finally this isolation is getting to me. The town where we do our grocery shoppings has one of the lowest incidences of COVID-19 in the world. I mean, they had like one case, and they're just right. They're just up the next town over, and everything very rural area and everything. Ours in a part of town we're in is rural, but man, apparently some of the people in other parts that aren't rural are really getting hit. And but it's on the downslide, and I hope it stays that way. Hi, Clyde. How you doing? The Culpa with the orange dial. Me too, and I like my big old Culpa with a blue dial. I've got the stem came out, and I have an idea that it wouldn't be much to put it back in because I found where they have the locking screw on it, and all I'd have to do is take the back off, put it in, and then tighten up the locking screw. But if I broke that watch, I'd really feel bad. Okay. Chronograph is the coolest complication. Actionoid. There you go, Orange Hand. You gotta have a guy. That's a big especially that Persian. That's a big macho watch. Uh, I I don't know. I guess if you really don't need to use a chronograph. That was my thing. Is wow, who uses a chronograph? Well, certain people do, but I don't. I mean, it's sort of like a diver. Right? Most people are desk divers. Is the Persian column wheel vertical clutch? Really don't know anything about the movement or the architect. That's a good question, Kevin. Man, I don't know. It's trying to think. I think the movement is a PF 337 or 334, something like that. But I don't know what kind of chronograph they use. Tell you the truth, I don't know whether it's a column wheel or what's the other one called. I forgot. I think my guess would be a column wheel. I'll tell you why. Column wheels are a little thicker, and so that would be my guess. Hi, Abdul. How you doing? But I'm just not sure. That was funny. I should have, of all of the things, I should have been diving into but it was, I don't know, it's such an interesting oddity. It's sort of like, coming to like something odd. Hi, Raj. How you doing? There you go. That would be the thing I would use it for. I don't run. I'm a walker, and I broke the 20-minute mile walking. I used my monoretro pump for that. So not just any chronograph, but a monoretro pump. That's so weird. I've been wearing all this week. I decided I'm going to wear my Moser, my H. Moser Endeavor Center Seconds, and it's got a 7-day wind on it. So I thought, well, I'll just wear it for 7 days. And usually and then I go in to pair it with different watches because of different things. Like this morning when I went out into the wilds, I put on my Seiko 5. They have these guys. I think I've told you guys about this. My Seiko 5 is a jumper, what I call my jumper. And I got that term from, there are these guys that have to clean out certain kinds of, I think they're like tanks. They're like big water tanks they use for cooling, and they've got to be scrubbed out every now and then to remove some radioactivity. And they put them in suits and everything, and then they have to jump in and go scrubbing. They're jumpers. It's not a job that I would want. Um, and so that's what my Seiko 5 is. It's a jumper. Every job that none of my other watches I would want involved with, they're jumpers. Hey, now, Shed, how you doing? Hey, Syed, how are you? Oh boy, I don't know why I'm so optimistic, but maybe because uh, we're. But I am. I after I decided, okay, I'm just going to start working on a watch. I've been feeling much better because, I've been waiting for these other guys, and um, I really want the retrograde, but there's nothing to stop me from working on another watch while I'm waiting for that. And then, if we get that, there's not going to get in the way at all. Uh, the price of a steel Daytona, yeah. There you go. People talk about a watch that they, you know, I, I some of the watches I have are probably not a lot of people would not like the looks of, and I really like them, and other people do too. That's really a funny thing. Once they've seen it for a while, they go, "Wow, that's a pretty cool looking watch." Um, so I thought, well, I'm really tempted by one of the Persians for this reason. I don't have a real, or at least luxury chronograph, and one like that would be that'd be sort of a cool watch to have in sort of a weird way, you know. um, Certain things that have a certain look. I'm a big Morgan fan. Now, there's a sports car that not everybody would learn to love, or especially like a Morgan three wheeler. Love those cars, but that's just the test. Uh-oh. I'm starting to get messages. I better turn this thing off. Next thing that's going to happen, Siri will come up and say, "Hey, what do you want?" or say something weird like that. What's your favorite moon phase self-winding watch? Let's see. My favorite and most exasperating is my own Christian Vanderclaw Series 74. I think there's one steel one left. The reason that it's my favorite and most frustrating, Christian Vanderclaw, that was his big thing, was this. But those every time I adjust that thing, something screws up on it, and then I send it to the Netherlands, and they fix it and send it back, and it's working perfectly. And then I very carefully adjust it. The last time I did it was to a full moon. I thought, well, okay, because I just left it at they had, and everything was going fine, and just as long as I didn't touch it, they pull it out just a little, and then I adjust it, got it to the full moon, popped it back in again, then it stayed there. Wait a minute. So, I don't know. So it's, you know, moon phases. I guess if you have a moon phase, you should have one that works. Mine, I love the looks of it and everything, and I keep thinking there must be some little thing under there because it's like they even set it for a full month of testing it, and then they sent it back to me, and I left it, and so I don't know. So what would be my favorite? Oh, I'll tell you what I like. Have you seen a Sarpaneva? Did I say that wrong? I'm sure I did, but it's just I think he's in Finland, and he has these really cool different moons on his. Let's see. Morgans are cool, still hand built and limited number. You bet. And also Dominic, there they've got wooden Z frames on them too. The only thing you have to worry about are termites. Oh, let's see. Okay, what's going on here? Okay. Hi, Hans. How you doing? Okay. As far as the moon phase, to me, a moon phase is even less useful for me than a chronograph. Actually, probably this is all I really need in a watch. And the secondhand simply tells me that it either needs winding or doesn't. And this one really needs winding because once I wind it up, it's good for a week. Trying to think what would be a function other than a chronograph or a moon phase? That's something that's really nice to have that you use a lot. What would you say? Okay, I got this watch, and the thing I like about it is it does X. Not talking about chronographs or not talking about a moon phase. What would that be? Hi, Blaine. I really like the Citroen DS. Oh, yeah, me too. Everybody likes that, I thought. Hi, Lee. Um, a date. Yeah, that would be one orange hand. That's, a day date. Especially now because all the days seem the same. It was like, oh, what day is it? I know how to check. I can look at my watch. Um, I have my calendar, and every day that's my day date. That's my perpetual calendar. It's actually an annual calendar because I got to get a new one every year. That would be something. I don't know why, but I'm very tempted by that Vacheron Constantin triple date. I love that watch. The Historique triple date, 1942, I think is what it's called. What a neat watch. I really like it, but it's too expensive. Um, I don't know if you guys know Eric. Eric has um, well, there are a lot of Erics, I guess. But what he does, he has these older watches, mostly vintage watches. He has more combinations of day dates on the different watches that he collects than anybody I've seen. He's got a vertical day date at 6 o'clock on one of his watches. Like the top will say Tuesday and the bottom will say 19. And he's got one that has the day at 9 o'clock and the date at 3 o'clock, or vice versa. It's got all kinds of these day dates. I don't know. Okay, what would be another a GMT? Oh, a GMT would be I think a really useful one. Now GMT is another, I think, function, and the same thing with a world timer. That's another one I'd really like to get. It would be a world timer. Um, how about world timers? What do you guys think would be the best world timer? Oh, Hunt, do you prefer active complications, chronograph minute, or passive complications? Tour. Well, these are, I see them doing different things, not so much as active or passive. Um, if you have, for example, Remontois Egalite, that thing's working all the time, keeping keeping the a constant force going. Whereas a chronograph, if you need a chronograph, you really need to bip, bip, time something like that. You can't beat a chronograph. But of the ones, I don't know. I think a world timer now. World timer is what I need. Uh, I need several things, but I want to get something I'd use. Okay. Um, what would you guys recommend for a world timer? If you were into stargazing, you'd appreciate the moon phase function more. Full moon observing is not very good. Mark, I agree with you. And also too, I think if you want a true moon phase, a really good one, the Kristen Vandercloud, it's called True Moon View or something like that. That thing is an amazing watch, but you know, it's like you got to wait. I'm too impatient for that. The Breitling Unitime, okay. Notch Blau Night. Oh boy, let me see. I wear something called Nomos Nachtblau Weltsieg. Okay, what is that, Tomas? A Patek 5231J world time. Oh yeah, yeah, that would be a nice one. Chrono Swiss. You know, Abdul, that's right. Chrono Swiss does get the JLC Geophysic Universal Time true second. Oh wow, they got a true second like that, plus a world time. Man, I would have everything. Night Blue, okay, world time in German. Thank you. Uh, Stefan was teaching me. I was learning Austrian from Stefan. I think he gave up. 5930. Okay, hey, just looking at the Frederick Constant World Timer. Not high horology, but a nice watch. What do you think? You know, it's well, this is my opinion for what Frederick Constant. You know, they started off with their own movement, and I respect that a lot. But then they started taking shortcuts that drove me crazy, such as gold plating. And but you know, the ones I've handled, the ones I've looked at, I think that Frederick Constance, I think are probably one of those watches that's pretty good buy. I know they're owned by Citizen now. They were started by a Dutch couple, and they started in Switzerland, and then they were bought by Citizen, and I don't know where and how it's going. I know that Citizen's got serious money for developing them, but I don't know what they're doing. No one does enamel like Patek. Okay. Oh, they're making homage watches now. Yeah. Is there a difference between Austrian and German? Not the language, but it's the attitude, I think. Uh, Yellow gold is so classic. I like yellow gold too. The Creator Aichi 2 enamel or porcelain? Man, that's a good question. It may be porcelain, but I'm not sure. That's a real good question, Blaine. The latest FC models are aesthetic ripoffs, which is sad because they used to try and have their own style. Yeah. You know, that's one thing I like about Moser. Moser's got its own style. You can spot a Moser a block away. They do have some that are looking at some heritage dials and so forth. Some of them are okay. The one I like, they have this one, it's this red dial with nothing on it except two hands, hour and minute hand. That I just think is great. Thank you, Geezer. Geezer, do you have a Moser? You look like a. They're right now. To me, they're a great buy still. I really like Mosers. They normally it's not a watch I can afford, but I saved up a long time for this, and I wasn't saving for this one. I was saving for another one, and the other one I saved for. And then I had a couple windfalls. One of my books was translated into I don't know what, something into Austrian, and so there was get a check out of nowhere. Here's for the Austrian translation. I don't know, and so I had enough to get it, and I got it at a significant discount too because this particular model, I think, is that they're discontinuing and they have all these new models they're coming out with. I think one of the things that make to me these like super valuable, other than the fact that they're magnificently done, is that especially some of these this kind of model, is that they're hand wound, which I really like, and they have probably the most popular hairspring among your high-end watches, and that's Moser hairspring, which is really funny. When I talked to Malon, I was asking about where they're going with business. He says, a big part of it is our hairsprings. He said, those are going up. And I said, what about 20,000 a year? He said, no, up above that. And then later on, he was in another talk and he said, well, we're doing 100,000 hairsprings. I said, yeah, that is above 20,000. So, you have different things, but, everybody doesn't like, these sort of minimalist kind of dials. Other people do. And some I like, some I don't. But it's a kind of thing that it's got a unique look. Sort of Rolexes, whether you like the looks or not, you can spot a Rolex pretty quickly, I think. And let me see, what other watches? Oh, Movados. Movado, you can spot a Movado watch. It's not something I collect, but they're certainly distinctive. Royal Oaks, distinctive as all get out. Octos from Bulgari. And, so you have some kind of distinctive thing. And of course, if you like them, you get a Persian. I think I'll see if I can, Stefan thing where he got upset. Those are ugly. Oh, that was fun. Vanta Black. Wow, that's an amazing watch, Lee. Yeah, that thing. Have you guys seen the Vanta Black? That thing is just, it's really wild. Okay, guys. Well, listen, I am going to put this together, and I'm going to be, I think I'm going to be trying to put together a watch. My biggest question about this is I'm going to have to figure out the width of the band with this kind of gizmos, and I'll see if I can put a band on, put a watch together. So in the meantime, we're just sort of waiting for everybody else to hoping to hear back one thing, from Agenor, and we'll see what happens. Okay. I know we're coming out of the lockdowns and things like that. Still be really safe, take care.